What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Bradley. You know what I mean? I'm just here today to talk about Floyd and Pacquiao. First off, let me say, um, I've been boxing since I was 16. I'm 24 now. I have amateur fights. I don't won fights, never lost. I want to go pro one of these days. Moving a little slow for me, but anyhow, um, I just want to go dead into it. I notice y'all when I look at videos when it comes to Floyd and Pacquiao, I notice that a lot of people they just jump on Pacquiao's side and just it's like they ignore the stats just to go with Pacquiao. I understand that Pacquiao has fans and he's a great fighter, a hard fighter. He gives the fans what he wants. I understand all that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on dude, but to really just Pacquiao comes out of nowhere and knock out a few good name opponents. I'll give him and knock out a few good name opponents and rise to the top like he did. That's great and all, but I'm hearing all these little side rumors, looking at interviews, people calling him the king, the pound for pound. He can't be the king. There's only one king in the 140 division, and that's Floyd Money Mayweather. I'm not just saying this because I'm his fan. I'm not really a huge fan, but I give the man his respect. You know what I mean? I'm not a diehard Floyd Mayweather fan, but I give his respect. I followed his career. I studied old fights, and also Manny Pacquiao. So the thing I'm saying is, you can't be throwing all these. You can't throw all these allegations just because Pacquiao came around and won a few good fights, and he got a nice fan base and everybody's liking him. You can't just take him and throw him up there with Floyd Money Mayweather because, in actuality, stats don't lie. There's only two ways in boxing to really judge who's better. It's either they fight and you come to the conclusion who won, or you judge stats. They never fought, so therefore, the stats doesn't lie. Floyd Mayweather stats and his numbers are better than Pacquiao's. So far, Pacquiao is Floyd Money Mayweather is better. And the thing I want to get at is you can't really just say that Floyd Pacquiao is a better fighter. You know what I mean? Because I looked at the Ricky Hatton fight. Floyd beat him, took him 10 rounds and beat him. Good, it was a good fight. And only thing the commentators were saying were, oh, Floyd wins by knockout. Oh, let's go to the interview with Merchants and whoever else. And they was just basically just saying, okay, he won a good fight. But as soon as Pacquiao knocked him out, everybody wanted, oh my God, Pacquiao knocked out Hatton. His legacy is now marked in stone. I'm like, how's his legacy marked in stone? Because he knocked this dude out. But Mayweather beat him first. No one hollered about legacy at all. It's like they gave him half credit. But as soon as Pacquiao knocked him out, oh my God, this man's going to the top. His legacy is in stone. So you know what I mean? I feel like only way Pacquiao can get his legacy in stone is beating Floyd Mayweather because he has a pretty good name in the 47 division, the welterweight division. He has a pretty good name. He beat some good names. So, but when it comes down to just like stats and like comparing them, I don't see how could anybody not give Floyd Mayweather his credit that's due to him because I look at the commentators, they give him half credit. You know what I mean? The man I didn't follow his career when he was young. The man has been fighting for 11 years and champion for 10 years. So if that's not impressive, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, like, where was Manny Pacquiao when Floyd was champion 6 and 7 years ago? Pacquiao was somewhere probably getting knocked out because he got knocked out twice. So therefore, I just feel like when you compare these two people, you should just let the king be the king and the pawn be the pawn. Pacquiao is a pawn. He's a great pawn, but he's still a pawn. It's just like with cards. You got a king, queen, and a jack. How you gonna put the jack up there with the king? He's a jack for a reason. The king is a king for a reason. There's only one king. So until that jack does whatever he has to do, whatever. and comes up there, it basically dismantle the king and become the king. Messing up my video, man. Then you can say okay, but until then, like I said, I look at all the interviews. They don't give Floyd Mayweather credit. They give him half credit. Every time he beats somebody, they say, well, what about this guy? It's like, then he beat him. Well, he was too old. He beat him. Well, he was too heavy for you. Well, Floyd Mayweather, you was too heavy for him, and you beat him because he was too heavy, and you was just using your legs. This guy was already head over the heels when you beat him. So it's always excuse after excuse every time Floyd Mayweather wins. But when it comes to like Pacquiao, no one makes excuses. I mean, it's just whatever happens. Oh my God, he's a great fighter. I mean, when Oscar fought him, Oscar was basically dehydrated. Oscar had to come down a lot, you know, because as you get older, your body gets heavier and it's harder to go down the weight. So therefore, Oscar he was damn near dehydrated. But no one said nothing. Manny Pacquiao beat a dehydrated Oscar De La Hoya. What you got to say about that? When Floyd Mayweather beat Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather let De La Hoya pick the weight what was comfortable for Mayweather let De La Hoya pick the weight what was comfortable for him. I mean, that's why they fought at 154, because that was comfortable for De La Hoya. And Floyd Mayweather still got the W. So, and then when you look at their rap sheet, Pacquiao fought a bunch of nobodies. I'm not taking nothing from him, but when you just look at their opponents, Pacquiao fought a bunch of nobodies. You know what I mean? Mayweather rap sheet, he fought a couple of people that you might say whatever, because you know you started out, but as a whole, his rap sheet looks way better than Pacquiao's. I hear people say that Pacquiao. I hear people say Pacquiao is a harder fighter than Floyd. Well, therefore, when you fight, when you don't use as much as smarts, then yeah, you have to fight hard. That's why your parents tell you coming up, work smart and not hard. Because if you're working hard, you're not working smart. So if you're not working smart, therefore you're working hard. So, and let's not get it twisted now. You know what I mean? Let's go back to when Floyd fought Chop Chop Corley. That was a hard fight. Floyd just whooped his ass. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Like you say, ain't nothing cool about getting busted up and getting beat up. You know what I mean? For money. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? It's bullshit to say he's a harder fighter. No, Floyd's a hard fighter. He's just smart as hell. So he just makes it look so easy. It looks like he's not fighting hard. But, I mean, come on now. You know what I mean? Manny Pacquiao just go in their head first and get his face all fucked up. And now all of a sudden people feel like, oh, he's a harder fighter. No, he's just not a smart fighter. So he's more of a punch first, ask questions later. Floyd is just more of a think first, execute perfect, and then go back to strategizing. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Winning is winning. You know what I mean? So the point of this video is just to basically say that for people to just say Floyd is just scared to fight Pacquiao, it really shows me that you don't really know what you're talking about, because the man just required him to take an Olympic style drug testing, which means one during the training and one before the fight. So if the man, you got to look at it. If a man is juiced up on steroids, which I think he is, because you just look at how his career came about. But the stay on point is, if a man is on steroids and he's hitting you upside of your head, I don't see nothing wrong with Floyd for worrying about his health. Because if a man is on steroids, he's punching harder than the average man. So if this man is hitting you upside of your head, rallying you, probably hitting harder than the average welterweight, then it is something to be worried about. I mean, if the man on steroids, if you're not, just take the test and get it over with. But making all these excuses, you're scared of needles and they can't find a vein and it's going to make me weak. A tube of blood this big is not going to make you weak. That's all they need. 14 days. Matter of fact, Mayweather agreed to do it 14 days before the fight. That way, you can get all your strength. But it's just excuses because he is juiced up. If you're not doing it, fuck it. They offered Pacquiao $30 million to fight Mayweather. Pacquiao turned it down because of a drug test. $30 million, guy? You could have took that money and never fought again a day in your life. Who would turn down $30 million over a tube of blood this big? So it just makes you realize that, I mean, it's clear he's using steroids. I mean, if you don't believe it, that's fine, but I mean, that's what's up. But I believe he's using steroids. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, like Floyd Mayweather says. It's common sense. You know what I mean? You don't move from 115 all the way up to 140, 150 over 2 or 3 or 4 years, or even 5 years. It took Floyd Mayweather 10 years to do it. He moved up over time, because as you get older, your body gets heavy and your bones get heavy. That way, you can carry your weight because you're doing it over time. He didn't do it in 5 and 6 years. So for a man to just jump up like that and put on all that much weight, and he still is hella quick and hitting just as hard as the original welterweight, it makes you wonder, like, damn, Philippines and Mexicans usually just don't get that big. You know what I mean? You got a few, but as a whole, when they're naturally small, 110, 115, they don't just blow up with muscle and just be that effective like that within 4 or 5 years. Especially not in boxing, because boxing is a type of sport. If you're going to put on weight, you have to gradually do it. 5 years from 105 to 110, 150, that's not gradually. That's overnight. So the point of this video is, for people to say Floyd Mayweather is scared of Pacquiao, I mean, that's ludicrous. You know what I mean? That's ludicrous. In my opinion, if Zab Judah was to get in shape and stay consistent from round 1 to 12, he'll whip Pacquiao ass. You know what I mean? But Zab Judah is another story. You know what I mean? So I just feel like, do your homework, know your stats, and do your homework before you just start basically, you know what I mean, jumping on the train that's smoking, the train that looks good. You know what I mean? Like I said, Pacquiao will be king once he dismantled the king. There's only one king. And until you knock the king off his throne, then you're just a pun, or whatever you want to call yourself, or a peasant, whatever. But until then, be easy.